Hello dear Maxers, is out a new video from the Alt-J band. It's not really their official video as is stated here, but it's on their official channel, so I associate it with them. And as you can see, it's a computer graphic video. It's quite simple, it's just sequence of videos playing and being interleaved, let's say, and there is like this effect, this extrusion of the mesh applied to this video. So in this video I want to recreate this effect, and maybe this will be interesting and useful for you. So let's have a try. So first thing that we need is a jit world object. So I will call this boo5 FSA erase color 0001 because we have a black background, and then I want to set the window position somewhere on the right of my screen and the sides also like this. So let's make it also floating. Okay. So this is our jit.gl context. The second thing that I need is a song. I don't want to use the Alt-J song, so I will just use the song from my friend Gianluca. Hello Gianluca, if you're following. And yeah, then I need a series of video to play. Actually, I don't want to use video. I want to use a series of images. Actually, they are GIF files, but they will be just played as images. Okay. Then I want to trigger this. I don't know if this is triggered by the audio in the Alt-J video, but I want to trigger our effect with the audio. So let's create a pick amp. Let's create a send metro here. So the send of the bang from the JIT world. Let's touch this here. Let's also touch this out. So this goes out. Let's actually create a gain so we can select the volume of this audio that goes out. Okay, so okay, perfect. So I already know that this track, let's see, this track has an amplitude that goes from 0. In the loudest moment it goes up to 0.9 or something like that. So to create a trigger, I want to create a threshold, and when this threshold is passed by the signal, I will have either a 0 or a 1. Let's create a change object in order to filter this repetition of zeros and 1, and then let's create a cell 1. Actually we just need a 1, and this will output a bang every time that the threshold is passed. So as you can see, it goes with the kick, basically. Okay. That's our trigger. So let's get send bang 5, and let's create a GP window here just to see. just to see what we get out of the playlist. Let's create a random. I have 5 elements, so this must be a random 5, but plus 1, because the index starts from 1 here for the playlist object. So now it goes from 1 to 5, because random by default goes from 0 to 1 less than the number that you set as argument. So let's see, you should give us random pigs. Yeah, everyone's that the key is pressed. Okay, that's good. So, okay, let's put this in a subpatch movies, and let's create our jit.gl point mesh. We have to create a mesh that as vertices, it just must be a rectangle, because our image is a rectangle, but we are going to change the zeta position of the vertices of this mesh according to this trigger and according to some values. I think we are going to use the amplitude of the audio, and we need the jit.gen to create these vertices for the mesh. So let's actually attack this here. What comes out of here is a 4-plane matrix, but I would like to have a 3-plane matrix just for the x, y, and zeta. And also, this is 250 by 180, so this image maybe have different size. So let's just create a jit matrix with fixed size. Also, let's make it float 3 planes, float 32, 320 by 240, adapt 0, and interp also 0. So, or interp 1. Let's actually say interp 1. So, okay, but just to be precise, let's unpack this. I don't want the alpha channel from this, because it will just be the maximum value of 255. I just want the red, green, and blue. So this will now be our jit matrix 3 planes, and so on. Let's tag this to the jit.gen. So we now have an input matrix of 3 planes, floating point 320 by 240. And in order to create this mesh, this is now just created with colors of the video. So the vertices are just the colors of the videos. But actually, I just want a rectangle. So let's use the signal normalized coordinates just to create the coordinate of this mesh. It's too near to the screen, so let's actually put it a bit back, like that. But now you will see that this is not really a rectangle, it's more a square. But what we want is a rectangle to visualize these videos. So to transform this into a rectangle and to keep the right proportions, let's find the ratio between the width and the height of our image, our videos. So our width is 320. Let's divide this by 240, and now this is our ratio. So we will going to create a parameter inside this jit.gen, and to use this as a multiplier for the x of this vector. So let's multiply the x for our ratio, and then let's recreate the vector. So we need a vec3 because it's 3 components for this vector. The zeta is now at 0. So now this is a rectangle with the right ratio. Okay. So now we want actually to also to apply the video or the image as a texture to this mesh. So let's create a jit.gl texture object, and the name is gonna be T1v5, and this is going to contain this video. So this is our texture. Let's actually also give it the dimension 320 by 240, adapt 0. Okay. So this texture is going to, this mesh is going to have this texture called T1v5. Let's see. Oh, it's just displaying 1 pixel because it doesn't have texture coordinates. In order to give this mesh the texture coordinates, we can just create them as inside jit.gen using the normalized coordinates. These coordinates go from 0 to 1 in both directions, so it's perfect. So now we have a mesh that is displaying randomly these images. Okay, so let's start to extrude on the z-axis. So let's create a jit catch object. Frame size, let's use the good number 128 mod 2, and let's use one channel from this audio. These also need the metro, need a bang. Can actually just use this one. Okay, and this is going to go inside our jit.gen. So what do we do with that? Let's switch the x. Let's take the absolute value of that because the amplitude goes from is also negative values sometimes. So actually in this video from Alt-J, only the brightest pixels are going to be extruded in this video, and this is actually a nice effect. So I would like to achieve the same result. So in order to extrude just the brightest pixel, we need, for example, the length of this, the length of the pixels, of the color, so the magnitude of the color that's coming in, and let's set it greater than a threshold. Let's create a param called thresh 1.2, maybe a good value. And let's say, let's do something like this. When it's greater than this threshold, when it's not greater, then just output this vector. But when it's greater, then output this vector, which is the same as that, but the zeta is being extruded by the amplitude of the audio. So let's see how this works. Let's see. Okay. It works. Let's create a message. Trash. Let's lower the volume of this. So let's create a one called threshold. So when the threshold is greater than certain amount, then it's going to extrude just those pixels. Let's say 1.2. Okay, that's quite good already. But one thing is that in this video there are different draw mode for this mesh. There are these lines, or it's also extruded as points, it appears to me, or as polygons. So let's create the same draw mode also in our patch. So draw mode 3 grid. Let's create 3 options. Draw mode points for this mesh, and draw mode line strip. Yeah, and let's create a random tree. Let's say 012, and 0 is going to trigger this, the 1 is going to trigger this, and so on. And as you maybe have already guessed, we're going to use the bang from the trigger with amplitude to choose a different draw mode. So now sometimes will be as lines, sometimes are polygons, sometimes as points. One thing that I don't like now is that when it's lines or points, the image is going to be displayed as lines also, or points. But I just want that, as if we look at this video, we can see that just the vertices that are extruded look like lines, and the others look still like the normal image. So what I want to do is to place the normal image on the same level of this extruded image, in order to have continuously displayed, well displayed image. So let's create jit.gl grid shape, and the shape is a plane. Dimensions 20 by 20 is good. The color is make 1111 so it doesn't interfere with the texture. Position must be the same as the others. I want that this is drawn before the grid shape. So let's set a layer -1 for this object, for the mesh, and also this must have a texture. Then it's called as the other. So let's see what we get. Okay, now only when oh, we still need to get the proper ratio for this grid shape. So let's actually say that this must be scaled for this ratio. So send ratio from here. The x must be scaled with this ratio. So receive ratio. Made a mistake. I attached the send ratio after the prepend, but actually it's just this number that must be sent. So let's see. Okay, now it's good. We will always have the normal image overposed to the mesh. Okay, that's quite good. Okay, so now we have this result. And one other thing that appears in this video is that these images are kind of rotated sometimes. So that could be a good moment to use the new ease packet that you can find in the package manager from Second74. So let's take a look at how we can use it. Let's create an object called easeXFade. And if we go into the help file, we get this. But if we go into the example in the package, we find this. So let's take from here. Let's take this tree object and good. So let's see. Let's copy the object in the patch. So we are going to rotate this image using the XFade new object. So let's see what it does. This generate rotation, generate some random numbers, but okay, let's see. So we need a line object for the XFade. We need some ramp. So let's say this from 1 in 1000 goes to this goes to 1 in 1 second, and let's attach this here to the XFade object. And then let's create a trigger. Bang, bang, bang. Let's create 3 bang. So let's also take the attribute here and the function attribute here for this object. So the first bang will trigger the selection of the function, the second the rotation, and the third the line. So let's receive the trigger bang here also and see what we get. Okay, so we get nicely rotating image. This goes quite with and this goes quite with the audio. So just the brightest pixel are going to be extruded. Yeah. So this kind of works. Let's add another feature. So sometimes these images are far, sometimes they're close. So let's create position message 00 $1, and this is going to be applied above to the grid shape and to the mesh. And let's create random 100. Let's receive the bang, the trigger bang. So let's divide this by -50. So this is going to from 0 to -2, and see what we get. So we are getting this image is going to be far, to be close. Not really super satisfied with this. Let's divide this by -40. Okay, so the image now can be also farther. With the audio. And if you apply a video instead of a simple image, you get an effect quite similar to the Alt-J video. So I think I think this is it. Thank you for following. I hope this was interesting, and see you to the next video. Ciao.